Hi guys, I'm Angie and this is
Harold Jones, John L. Scott. And today, Angie's going to bring us up on the animals in her life.
Now we're going to talk about what to expect when you move and you change into a total different kind of setting. You know, if you go from city to out in the country.
Different environment, totally.
Or even the other way. And one thing I've learned in San Harold is recently we had a little snake and we're just sitting outside, and I mean I've been out there for over a year now, and I used to, as a kid, lived out in a ranch and never ever encountered a snake. So this small little snake was crawling and almost going into my garage, and of course I panicked because I do not do wildlife of any kind. And I was like, what the heck? You know, of course, my husband's saying, you live out in the country. And we do. We have bunnies and I don't know, all kinds of birds and squirrels and your coyotes, all kinds of things. And I'm like, how come no one told me this? Which is pretty much, you think, common sense. But I'm like, maybe people don't realize that when you change, you know, you just think it's fine and dandy and it's peaceful and quiet, but it's all the other things that come with it. And it could be the opposite if you're going from like country living to city life. You know, instead of animals, it's cars and noise and hustle and bustle.
Sirens.
So what is your
No,
this
this is your topic.
I'm asking your input. It's called
I run into those type of things basically every once in a while, and I've never thought much about it. But you seem to have quite the adventure with.
Have you had any clients ever regret it?
Regret what?
Like changing the atmosphere, you know, going from, you know, one to another and saying, ooh, this is not what I thought it was?
Aside from you?
Yeah, aside from me.
Usually there's always some adjustment. Yes, especially if you move from the city to the country, right? There's always the differences, the things that aren't there.
Yeah.
I think is more of the adjustment than the creatures out there. It's all of the things that you're used to having at your fingertips, right around the corner, right down the block, that are no longer there.
I mean, I'm okay with the cute stuff, the bunnies, the birds, you know.
It's all cute.
But when you get like snakes and big old spiders,
Yeah, when you come through the door and she's standing on top of the table, it's usually a little dinky spider who is just minding its own business.
Yeah, my grandson wants to kill it. But yeah, it's an adult. Just always do your research, or at least know what you're getting into. You know, it's nothing like camping. I think people go camping and think like, oh, okay, this is, you know, I could do this. But again, it didn't even cross my mind. And as a kid, I lived out in the country and I never came across one. You know,
You've never came across a snake?
Not even a garden snake. Just nothing. I've never seen a snake. Besides a zoo or captured, I've never seen one in person in front of me.
I've ran into a lot of snakes and they seem to just want to stay away from me and I stay away from them and we're all good.
So the point of all this is, if you are going to be relocating to a different atmosphere, just do your research. Make sure it's something you really want to do or you know that you're going into, you know.
And as far as that goes, truthfully, if you're changing neighborhoods, let's put it this way, if you're changing neighborhoods, always go check out the neighborhood that you're thinking about moving to. Visit it multiple times, preferably mornings and evenings and on the weekends.
Yeah.
That way you get a good idea of what happens in the area.
And then just don't get the cops called on
And
you.
don't worry about the small critters. That's Angie can take care of that.
Okay. Okay, so that's my tip of the day. Do your research on where you want to live and what comes all with it. So if you have any questions about real estate or what kind of snakes are dangerous or what kind of snakes they are, I'll leave Harold's contact information like always, and you can ask him about it. Till next time, bye.